How's it going, tubers? Jimbabwe here with a review of the Jazwares Halo Infinite Jackal Sniper with Stalker rifle figure from 2020. Let's not waste any time and get right into the figure, shall we? We're going to start off with the sculpting and the detail and the paint job on this figure. Starting off, this figure is highly detailed. You can really see, especially in the skin, all the wrinkles and the folds in the skin, just the wash they put on it to really, accentuate all those features. Looks really good. The armor looks good as well. You have nice paint features. He's got this kind of scoped helmet. You can see his little quills up on the top of his head. Those are rubbery so they can move and stuff. He's got a few more on the back of his neck. And just overall, his armor looks really good. You can see the shoulder panels. The under armor, like the under suit, looks good as well. It has some nice paint detailing in there. On the legs as well. The forearms, more quills on his elbows. Those look pretty good. He even has a butt plate down there. And then his feet too. He's got little bits of armor on his feet as well. And the feet are really detailed too. You got all that wrinkles and stuff, all that detail really put in there as much as they could. And it just, overall, the figure looks great. But now we're going to get into the articulation and see if that holds up as well. Alright, with the head, he's got a hinge and swivel on the base of the head itself. He can look down that far with the neck fully upright, and he can look up really high. He's got that swivel too, so you can turn that all the way around. You can get a whole lot of motion with that. He has a jaw joint, so you can open up his mouth really far. You can even see a little bit of tongue in there for detail, which looks good. You can close it up. The base of the neck has another hinge and swivel, and it can go down that far, so you can really have him, like maybe looking down or have a broke neck. And then it goes up all the way that way, and you also have a swivel there, which helps to angle the head a little bit back and forth. The shoulders don't have a lot of room to move because of these large shoulder panels, but he does have a hinge and swivel, so it goes down that far and it goes up about that far, basically 90 degrees, and you have that swivel that allows you to really move around that way. Both sides. The elbows, same deal, have a hinge and swivel. They can go to about a 90-degree angle, and then you have that swivel to really help them get out there and stuff. The wrists have a hinge. Very little bit of motion, but it's there, so that's good. And then you have that swivel to really spin them around whichever way you want. The mid-torso has what I believe is a ball joint, so you can get a little bit of forward and back, and then side to side, a lot on that side. And then you can also spin it around so we can look in different ways, and it starts to crackle and stuff. That's just the plastic rubbing against other plastic, not the actual joint itself. In the thighs, these joints are stiff and they pop when you move them like that, but that allows them to hold their place really well. So it's not going to move. Like I'm moving on the rest of the leg and that really holds in there. But you do have that popping noise, which at first you might think, oh, it's breaking. It's not breaking. That's just just with how tight that plastic is it rubbing on the other part of the joint. Inside the thigh, you have a swivel, which there's not a whole lot. You can do actually a lot, but you can't go 360 on account of this armor piece. Then with the knees, you have just a little bit, not a whole lot. Then you have the ankle right here, just a little bit more. It can turn too, so you can get a little bit of turn. Knees can, oh yeah, the knees can turn as well, so you have a little bit of that. And then the foot itself, you have a lot of mobility with this foot. Hinge forward, hinge back, and swivel. 360 on that foot. The feet, the base of the feet are very small, so it's not very easy to get him to stand up on his own. He can fall over very easily, but luckily you do have this terrain piece with the pegs, so you can pose him on that without any trouble of him falling over. So the one weapon he comes with, they're calling it the Stalker rifle. This may be the banished replacement for the beam rifle. Possibly, we don't know yet because not a whole lot of information is out on the game yet. but it looks good. It looks like kind of like a merge of the Covenant Carbine and what they've been doing recently with the beam rifle in Halos 4 and 5. I like the overall look of it. We'll have to see how it feels in game, what its actual function is, whether it's just like another either single action semi-auto rifle or a sniper role. We won't know yet, but the paint application is good. You got all the red for the outer shell, and then you have all the gray in there for the little bits and pieces in there. You got like those vents, more vents up here for like a heat distribution. Just the mouth of that barrel just looks cool, and it fits in his hand well. With this figure, because Jackals, they only have the 3 fingers, it's really easy to get it in and out of his hand. You just pop the thumb through and it's in there, and he holds it well. It's not gonna shake off, it's gonna hold in there. And then you can also, put his other arm on there, and with, again, just 3 fingers, mostly 2 in there at a time, holding on, it works out well. He holds it well. It's not gonna fall out of his hands, which is what I like with these hands. I was expecting, a 3-fingered hand in an action figure for holding stuff doesn't seem like it's going to be really well. For this particular rifle, it works. I don't have any of the other Jazwares weapons yet, or any of the other figures, so I don't know how well he'll be able to hold, like, say, a plasma pistol, or a Needler. I can assume he'll be able to hold well because they're a little bigger, but something small like a plasma pistol, we'll have to wait and see on that, if that really holds in or not. So the last accessory this figure comes with is a little hexagonal base plate. Each figure in this line, the World of Halo 3.75-inch series in Jazwares, comes with one of these. This one is a grass pattern with some rocks. The rocks are painted on with gray. It's molded in green. And these interlock with each other, so you have this clip system. So with each figure you can put a bunch of them together and kind of make up your own little terrain area. The pegs work well. His feet snap on nice and easy, and they stay on, and he is not falling over. This is plenty of surface area to really hold him up and stand him up. Without this base plate, the figure, he can't really stand up well. You can get him into like maybe 1 or 2 poses, but without that, he's gonna fall over easy. So it's great that this is included with the figure to really help him stand up. And it's great that each figure comes with it, so you can have multiples. You can have them close together, side by side, clip them in, make a large scale thing. I can't imagine with how many waves they do of this series, how many different colors you'll get, and how many different ones total you'll be able to have. I can't wait to see how that turns out. So there he is, the Jackal Sniper in the Jazwares World of Halo 3.75-inch figure scale line. I think it's a great figure. The articulation is nice for the limited kind of way you can do, especially with these legs, with all the different joints. But the articulation is good. It's not weak articulation. It's stiff enough to really hold everything in place. The accessories are nice, especially the rifle and this plate to help them stand up. The paint and the molding on this figure is excellent. They really hit a home run on this figure's detail. I think it looks great. The overall value for a $10 figure, I mean, the size of this guy, he's pretty tall, Let's take a look inch-wise. Take out a little ruler here, and you can see he's almost 5 inches tall. Now, it's a 3.75-inch line, and that's because for the humans, they're about 3.75 inches. These aliens are much larger than humans most of the time within the Halo series, so yeah, he's not even standing upright, and he's pushing 5 inches almost. So that's really cool. It's a big figure for $10. I mean, it's a great value, a great deal. I wouldn't pass it up. I mean, especially if you like the Jackals. I would like to see in the future a standard Jackal with an energy shield and a plasma pistol or Needler. But for like a sniper Jackal, I've always liked the look of those, especially in Halo 3, and when they have that little helmet on, the scope. It just looks mean, it looks cool. The figure is great, I highly recommend it. We're gonna end this off with a few snapshots.